So in this video I'd like to show how to set up and install the Node Red to the Andino X1. You will find the instructions in our Git repository. You can go to andino.systems, a little bit down we have here the X1 and GitHub. And inside of GitHub you can go to src and Node Red Andino X1. It is here because we wrote a little node which you can install, which make it easier to handle the X1. Here all are the steps you just have to follow. The first step is not really necessary, it's just a hint. This is a little script somebody wrote to save the log files to a RAM disk, to a RAM file system, and not on the SD card, just to save the lifetime. The important things are here. Just copy this line to the shell. Yes. This will uninstall the old version of Node Red and install the latest components you will need. It takes a time, so I'll be back. Okay, now Node Red is installed. It took about 15 minutes. The next step is to install the Andino X1 node, and therefore we change into this Node Red directory. This is important that you execute it inside this directory, otherwise the installation will fail. And then copy this line to the shell, and then the X1 node will be installed. Okay, and then we can start Node Red from the command line. Just Node Red start. So, if you like to install the service, here's the command. This enables the start of Node Red in the background after boot. And then we can go to the development page of Node Red. This is port 1880. So I go to Raspberry Pi 8018. And there is already this is my test before. So I take the serial port onto my flow, and then normally I have to add a serial port. So you select the AMA0, set to 38400, and just push save. Name, no, don't need a name. And to test it, we can just take a debug node and connect the output of the serial port to the input of the debug and deploy it. So, and here in the debug section, we can see what is coming from the serial port. This is a message from the firmware we showed in the last video. So if I push the button here, you can see something is changing. But it's not possible to process this data inside of all the other nodes. And therefore, we stop it, just remove the debug and add a X1 node. Andino, here's the Andino node. And then I put the output to the Andino node and configure it. I like to have all the events. My name is event. Andino X1 event parser. So, done. And then I'd like to see what is the output of the Andino parser. So I take a debug and the output of the Andino to the debug, and I deploy this. I erase this. So, and what we get is an object. Instead of the string, we get an object with the counter 1 or counter 2. As I told before, if we have additional plugins with more inputs, we have here counter 3, 4, 5, and so on. And this object we can use, or this payload we can use to process it in other nodes. On the home page, on the GitHub page, we have an example. Example is sample flow. This is this here, and I copy it. How can I copy it? Oh, display it in raw, copy, and then it's here import from clipboard and paste it here, import, and then paste it here and delete the other tests here. This flow will, this is an Andino node. Andino node, the name is events. Okay. So the data from the report is here passed by the Andino node, and then split to just a text box in the dashboard. You can see here just a text node. I grouped it in a group box, and the value I'd like to display is payload dot counter 1. And then on the other side, so we can see the counter and the pin state. It's just an example to see how to process the output of the events. And on the other side we have a push button on the dashboard, and the push button sends a true and a false in the payload, pressed, not pressed. And then I send the relay it's spelled wrong. Relay. Don't care. Relay. You don't know. Das ist doch. Name label is relay. So. Okay, I have to fix it in the download. So the true and false from the button goes to this Andino X1 node, and the type this time is relay. And the node, this Andino node, transfer it into a string, and then a command to the microcontroller. Okay, I will deploy it. And then here's a section dashboard, and I can open the dashboard here. Okay, this is a dashboard. And now you can see if I press the button, you can see the pin state is changing and the counter is changing. And I've then a true. You can hear the relay is clicking. Yeah, okay. This is how Node-RED works. So here you can deploy anything else, some information, send it to a MQTT dispatcher or what else. So this was a little Node-RED installation guide.